out here, raw and I cry, act like you don't know. We have no fear, war in our eyes, act like you don't know. We re-up here, we the men from acts like you don't know. We the prophets of the Most High, act like you don't know. We be out here, raw and I cry, act like you don't know. We have no fear, war in our eyes, act like you don't know. We re-up here, we the men from acts like you don't know. We the prophets of the Most High, act like you don't know. This is a men's conference, y'all ain't no men's out here. With all y'all wins of doctrine, us y'all again, stop it. Multiple enemies rising, but we stay cool like dry fits. Against the truth, you will lose, nothing you can do about it. This is an organization, don't argue, stop wasting our dedicated time. Brothers want us to speak Hebrew, so say that in Hebrew. Let me stop. Hey, purple on boots shining and we deep, lazy can't.
We're not supposed to be living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
We shouldn't be killing each other. All right? Read. Deuteronomy chapter 27 and verse 1. And Moses, with the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command thee this day. So Moses wasn't speaking to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He was speaking to the Israelites. That's who you are. You got to know who you are to know where you're going to go. If you don't know your purpose on this earth, you're going to be lost, walking up and down the street with no purpose.
Right.
Give me verse 28. Read. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness. So when you look at our people, we smitten with madness. We selling drugs to each other. Hey, how you doing, bro?
Hey, I asked him how we got over, he said about ships.
So you know we came over here on slave ships, right? You see these signs right here? This is what happened to our people. This is what happened to the children of Israel. Nobody else can fit that. So you said you know about the slave ships. Give me that in verse 68. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Bring it out.
The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. So first, let me ask you, bro, you know what Egypt is? What that means? What does Egypt mean?
Besides what the place.
It's a place? Right, but what kind of place?
Ancient.
What is Egypt famous for?
Ancients,
They famous for putting the Israelites in slavery. That's what Egypt is famous for. But let me show you what Egypt means. Because that land was called Mizraim. It wasn't called Egypt until the children of Israel was dwelling there. Read. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So Egypt means bondage, bro. What's your name, bro? So you gotta pay attention, bro, because we here for you, bro. We here to teach you who you are. Because you said you know we came here in slave ships, right? Did you know that that was Bible prophecies?
Right.
Did you know that Moses, thousands of years ago, told us we would go into this land on slave ships? Did you know that? See, that ain't fairy tale, bro. That's fact.
Right.
You can find that in all the history books.
Right.
That ain't something we just making up. You see what I'm saying? Read that. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. So we got over here to America how? On ships. God said that. God told us, because we didn't want to keep his commandments, that he would bring us into slavery on ships. Read. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Where you from? Where did they get us from off them slave ships?
likely Africa.
Africa? Okay, but it wasn't called Africa, because remember, we read in Exodus that Egypt just means house of bondage. So most of these names that we think of, the so-called white man gave them this name. You see what I'm saying? But we from the land of Israel. That's who we are. We the Israelites.
That's right.
God didn't say he would take Africans and bring them on slave ships. He said he would take the children of Israel and bring them on slave ships.
Right. That's right.
You're right.
So that's how we got here, bro. That's history. That's not something we making up. What we proving to our people is that our history is the Bible. You see what I'm saying? That's our history. So give me verse 15, because why did we go into slavery on them slave ships? Yeah, go ahead, finish that off.
Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
All right, stop there. Enemies. So God said once you got off those slave ships, you was going to be sold to your enemies. Who did we get sold to?
Yeah, y'all can get
Who was we sold to?
to the white folks.
We were sold to the white man, right? So God calls them our enemies. When you look at them, you're not supposed to be like, oh yeah, that's my friend. He's an acquaintance. He's giving me an opportunity. Therefore, I should trust him. You should never trust your enemies. You see what I'm saying? Because the same people that put you in slavery is the same people that give you that evil music to listen to. It's the same people who tell you it's okay to have multiple girlfriends. There ain't no girlfriends in the Bible. So you should never trust them. Was that it?
For bondmen and bondwomen.
When you got off those slave ships, they sold you, right? They said, I got a 6'3", 250-pound buck right here. He can pick cotton all day. 150, 200, 300, sold. That's what they did. They sold us on auction blocks like we was cattle, like we was a commodity or something. You see that, bro? But why did that happen? Again, bro, what you said, Zoe, right? My name Rafia. Why did that happen? That's the big question. Because guess what? Ain't we stronger than them? Ain't we smarter than them? So how was we able to be brought on chains in ships? How was that? How did that happen, bro? Do you know?
How did it happen? Shit, 'cause they had the money.
They had the money? It wasn't about money, bro. Give me that verse 15. It was about because we didn't keep God's laws.
Yes, that's right.
That was our strength. If you look in our communities, you go to Houston, you go to Dallas, you go to San Antonio, you go to Louisiana, everywhere you go, bruh, our people is in slavery.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a reason why that is. There ain't one place you could go on this earth where the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man ain't in captivity.
Right.
We were scattered all across the world. Read that for me.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
But it shall come to pass, if thou would not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So Zoe, if you did not listen to God, he was going to do something to you, bruh. Read.
To do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
Let me ask you, do you keep God's commandments? So you keep the Sabbath day holy? Yeah, you know what today is, right? Today is the Sabbath day, bro. You're not supposed to be buying and selling.
Oh yeah, that's why they wasn't doing drinks at a bar or something.
No, we don't do any buying, working on the Sabbath day. You see these fringes that all the men got on? We not doing this just because we want to make a fashion statement. We doing it because it was commanded of us by the Lord. You see what I'm saying? I see you got a beard on your face, bro. That's a righteous thing. Some brothers can't grow a beard. So that you got that beard, that's a law given to us by God. So the commandments is why that's why you in slavery, bro. That's why we in slavery, because we didn't want to keep God's commandments. It wasn't just because they had money. Money had nothing to do with it. We was the rulers of the earth. We had all the gold.
That's right.
We had all the pearls.
Bring it out.
That was us. But we didn't want to keep God's commandments. Read on. Start at 15 again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So let me ask you, is a curse a good or a bad thing?
It could be both, because
What kind of good curse is there, bro?
a good curse, shit. I'm gonna tell you like this. My great-great-grandfather said back before I was born, he told my people, Y'all got a curse on y'all. Guns ain't gonna never get enough of y'all.
That sounds like some witchcraft. But according to the Bible, curses is a bad thing, bruh. Because guess what? If you curse, that means you gotta go to your enemies for everything. When you curse, that means you don't know your nationality. You see what I'm saying? You don't know where you came from, and you don't know where you going. That's a curse, bruh. You see what I'm saying? Give me verse 16. Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
You said you was from, what part of Louisiana you from?
St. Martinville.
Okay, so when you see the black people, are they in the same conditions that they in out here in Houston?
Black people.
What about Los Angeles, Miami? Where we stay at, bro? Where do we live?
They living way better out there.
In Miami?
In Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles. So you mean to tell me the gang violence, killing and stealing, is better than how it is here in Houston?
I mean, it's bigger, so it's really a different.
Bruh, I'm gonna keep. It's the same. We destroyed as a people, bruh.
Right.
We subject to live in these poverty stricken communities. That's a curse. God said, you gotta understand, bro. You gotta look at this thing. You gotta put yourself in this Bible. This Bible is not talking about a fairy tale. It's not talking about some mystical thing that did not happen. What we showing you is everything that happened to us. We showed you slave ships, right? We showed you curses. Finish that out.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
So when you look at these signs, this is cursed in the field, bruh. You see we was picking, what was we doing? Picking cotton. What else was we picking? Tobacco, sugar cane. You see what I'm saying? That's a curse, bruh. Because this land, this earth was given to us. So why would we have to pick resources for another nation of people? That's a curse. God said he would put these curses on us because we didn't want to keep his laws. Just like you see everybody going into Sonny's food market and they buying and selling on the Lord's Sabbath day. That's why we curse. That's what we just read in verse 15. If we did not want to keep his commandments, he would put curses on us, bruh. Give me verse 48. Because remember in 68 I said our enemies would bring us into slave ships, right? Not our friends. All these nations are our enemies, bruh. How you doing, bro? What's your name? Torian. I'm Raphael. So you know you an Israelite, bro? All praises. So you know you got to keep God's commandments. And why did we go into captivity? Because we broke his commandments. You see what I'm saying? That's what we bringing out to Bro Zoe. It's because we broke God's commandments. He said, look, you don't want to follow me. You're going to follow somebody. That's what verse 48 is going to. Read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Know your friends.
Thine enemies.
So the same enemies that brought you in slave ships was the same ones when you got off those slave ships that you was going to have to serve. We making the Bible real. This ain't a fake book. This is not a book of just love, hugs, and kisses. It's reality for us, bro. Everything that this Bible say we going through on a daily basis.
Right.
Read.
Right. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Who sent them against us?
The Lord shall send against thee.
So, Zoe, it wasn't about money. God don't care about no money. He'll burn all that money up.
Right.
It's because we didn't want to serve him. You see what I'm saying? He said, I will send your enemies. That's why we can't get out of it. We can't get out of these curses because God sent them against us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Read.
And hunger.
Who own this food market? Do black people own it? But where is it at? It's in our hood, right? When you get your when you go to the grocery store, who own those grocery stores? Do black people bring that produce into the grocery store? It's the other nations. So God said, because you don't want to keep my commandments, you're going to have to serve your enemy. The so-called white man, the so-called Arab man, the so-called Chinese man. They ain't your friends, bruh. They not your friends. They put you in captivity, bruh. Read.
And in thirst. And in nakedness.
You want water. The clothes you got on. Even if, okay, somebody might say, well, Jay-Z got his own clothing line. P. Diddy got his own clothing line. Master P got his own clothing line. But when you look on those tags, does it say made by Master P? Does it say made by Jay-Z? No, it say made in Indonesia. Made in China. You see what I'm saying? The curses is real, bro, no matter what they... Oh, that's an old book. That don't apply to... No, it's real. We still living in it today. Read on.
And in want of all things.
What's your name again, bro? Torian? Torian. What kind of phone is that?
It's Motorola.
Motorola. Do black people own Motorola? Do Hispanic people own Motorola? It's you go back far enough, it probably go back to a white man, bro.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So everything you want, you got a car, Brozo. Who you think that car come from?
Rio.
Do black people own the car? Ford manufacturing, Chevy? We don't own these things, right? We gotta go to our enemies. Why? Let me see if you still listening. Why we gotta go?
Because we ain't listening.
Listen to what?
To what the man had to say.
His commandments, that's right. You blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you must keep God's commandments. It is not a suggestion. It is not like, oh, maybe one day I will do it, maybe one day I won't. If you don't do it, you will be cursed.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.